Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we'll be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1042 of One Piece. Winners don't need rationalizations, which I feel like the Viz is probably going to translate to winners don't make excuses or something like that. We have an awesome cover story. You guys know I love my cover stories, and it's a continuation of the cold-hearted or cold-blooded journey. I forget which one. And Oven is taking the Vinsmoke book with Niji and Niji and Yanji back to Whole Cake. Which, by the way, that really confused me because I thought the entirety of Whole Cake Island or whatever, I thought the entire thing was called Whole Cake, like the archipelago. I thought it was like an archipelago kind of, where like the whole thing was called Whole Cake, but then there's like individual islands with names. But I guess maybe Whole Cake is like where the Whole Cake Chateau is or whatever. I was super lost by that. But yeah, they're saying they're taking it back to Whole Cake. And Oven looks back at Pudding and has like a kind of a question mark going on and looking at her. And I feel like he suspects something's up. He suspects something's not quite right, but he can't quite put his finger on it. And you see Pudding making that little face, which normally they usually do that in manga and anime when like the character is lying or hiding something. So I'm very, very curious what's happening. Maybe that punch was much more than a punch. Maybe she somehow used her power, but I don't know how that would help in the situation. Originally, I was thinking she would use her powers on all her siblings so that they would forget they captured the Vinsmoke brothers, but I don't think that's the case. The slime, the jellied homie that's with her, and what's his name, Nitron or whatever, the homie that's with her, and her flying carpet homie, like they seem to kind of be like they have like that feeling of when like the homies are looking at each other like, all right, what are we about to do? It seems like they're planning something. So yeah, I'm very, very interested in this cover story and what's happening with the Vinsmokes and how Pudding plans on rescuing them. Anyway, if this is your first time at this channel, I would greatly appreciate if you could, give your boy a like, share, subscribe. Would mean the absolute world to me. Even if you've been here before but haven't done so already, it's okay. I forgive you. Do that jaunt right now. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into this review. Alright guys, chapter 1042 of One Piece. Winners shouldn't need rationalizations. So we start off this chapter with X Drake versus, I've just been calling him like the CP0 boss. I feel like the CP0 boss is actually Rob Lucci, but at this time we don't really know what's going on, but I know that he seems to be in charge of the CP0 that are here right now. So we're just gonna, stick with that. And so it looks like X Drake has him. He pierces him, but then all of a sudden, and he pierces him. The guy in the bowler hat is basically like, why? X Drake says that this is my my form of justice, yada yada yada. And then the bowler hat dude says something very curious, and he's like, I envy you. And at first I didn't think much about it, but then I reread the chapter and I thought about it, and I was like, what does he mean by that? And it made me think just about how very obscure Oda has made this entire series in terms of good and bad, order versus chaos, good and evil, and all that stuff. And you have to realize the CP0 are like the deep agents, like just like CP9, like the CP0 are the ones that like know a lot of secrets, are doing behind the scenes stuff. They were trusted with the government to move the Gumu Gumu no Mi, and so they know a lot of stuff. So it's one of those things where why does Garp continue to work with the world government despite them being scumbags? Why does Akainu continue to work with the world government even though he believes in absolute justice? There are some really abhorrent things that they do. They do a lot of dirty dealings with pirates. They cut around, they skate around the rules and stuff like that. So why do these people listen to the Goro say? I can think of many people in the Marines that would actively have a problem with the Gorosei, would actively have a problem with, the celestial dragons and the light.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man. It's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby, let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
But for some reason, they continue to serve the world government, and I can't wait till we get into that, right? So he says, I envy you, and just all of that came flooding to my head. Like, I wonder if there's a deeper meaning to that. Like, why do you envy him? Is there something that that he doesn't? Or do you also yourself believe that you're following justice? Or do you envy him because you envy a time where you too were naive and gullible and believed in a thing as justice, and now you're jaded, right? So I'm very curious as to how that's going. Also, something else, when I first read it, I kind of thought that like he, substitution no jutsu'd him, kind of like finessed it, but no, he clearly got stabbed. Like, no, he was penetrated, like sword through his back, not a illusion, not a genjutsu, not a substitution jutsu, none of that. No, he was actually impaled. So like everyone making fun of X-Drake, calling him a bum. Yes, he's still kind of a bum, and yes, we didn't get to see any like dinosaur shenanigans with him, which I was really looking forward to. I wanted to see what kind of dinosaur bullshit did Oda give him. Doesn't look like we're gonna get that now. Maybe we'll get it eventually, who knows. But no, he's impaled after he he uses, I'm assuming his Soru, gets off the sword, uses whatever the not Geppo, whatever the gun, the finger gun Tekai is, uses that, puts X-Drake down and gets away. But you see when he comes off that sword that like he's bleeding from his stomach. So like I'm pretty sure that he is probably lethally wounded, which makes me further wonder why he would do what he does later on in this chapter. But anyway, let's continue. So anyway, the Fire Festival is wrapping up to a close. They're doing the final, lantern flyings, writing their wishes and sending them up. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm freaking livid. I am pissed off because for several chapters now, I've been like, okay, cool. This happened, so they're gonna see it. This happened, they're gonna see it. This happened, they're gonna look up. This happened, they're gonna look up. Like, it has been pissing me off how oblivious these guys have been. Like, there is no way in hell. I am sorry, Oda. There is no way in hell these guys do not know that they are literally amongst a war zone, a battle zone. Like, literally, bombs have gone off. There have been millions of borrowed breaths. There have been, like, massive Conquer Hockey clashes, massive energy blasts, like just so much destruction. Even like Law's thing, I thought Law's like, so there are many things I thought would be the last straw, splitting the sky so that they could look up and see them. I thought that would be it. Kaido's dragon form, Momo pulling Onigashima, the bombs, what's it called? Kid's railgun, Law's awakening, his shock Willy, and then his puncture Willy, and just so many things that would make you look up. And I think there potentially are fireworks at this festival, so maybe that would make things make a little bit more sense as to why like explosions aren't making them realize, but it is driving me absolutely insane. So anyway, I digress. Moving on. I cannot wait for this episode to come out. It is going to be nonstop action after these opening scenes, and the rest of this chapter is just straight up Luffy and Kaido going at it, just mano a mano, letting it all rip. Luffy right now is in Snake Man mode, and honestly, he looks like he has the upper hand, and he is giving Kaido all of the works. He is just going at him with everything he's got, because like he said in the last chapter, and like he says later on in this chapter, this is all he's got. He's planning to end this in gear 4. He's running out of gas in the tank, right? And the thing is, like, it's not something to be taken lightly. Like, Kaido is actually being significantly pushed back. These blows are actually hurting Kaido. They're obviously infused with Conqueror's Haki, and Kaido just does not understand what's happening. He's like, the blows are able to change trajectory at a whim. Like, he thinks he can dodge it, but then all of a sudden, where it's about to make contact, it just goes knocking the mess out of him. He can't react. He doesn't know what's going on. And one thing that he says that made me so curious is he said, how can rubber even do damage like that? And this has been something that has been bothering me so much ever since we got that reveal about one of the devil fruits, both not having awoken in a long time and also not being the true name of the devil fruit. Obviously everyone right now, there's a bunch of, there's a bunch of devil fruits on the lineup right now. Let's be real. There's a bunch of devil fruits on the lineup, and Oda loves rickrolling us. He loves trolling us. He loves, dangling a red herring in our face and distracting us from the other thing. And so the obvious devil fruit that we're talking about is Luffy's, but I'm always going to hold firm that, Oda likes to finesse us and not to just blindly latch onto the first thing that it can be, the most obvious thing that it can be. But because of this line, I'm bringing it back to, it being the Gumu Gumu, and maybe the Gumu Gumu is not the name of the devil fruit. For some reason, I've been watching Tekken's videos for quite some time, and he for the longest time has always said that once you eat a devil fruit, its name and ability right away. And that does not seem to be the case. I did research and read up, and I did not find anything indicating anything of that sort. So I think that's just some kind of community headcanon that everyone kind of just took as actual canon. But I started doing some Googling and about material that act like rubber and stuff like that, and the only thing I could think of are elastomers, right? You have your elastomers, you have your polyurethanes, there are so many materials that are considered elastomers that can stretch, can retain their shape. But I was thinking of what are all the things that can do some of the other stuff we've seen them do, catch on fire, that can inflate, that can vulcanize and stuff like that. So I am really wondering if it's just a thing where Kaido is just wow, I can't believe someone with such a basic bitch devil fruit is able to deal this much damage to me. Also, you would think if it was just the hockey, he would say something about it just being the hockey, but no, he specifically is making it clear that no, I'm talking about the devil fruit. How is rubber hurting me like this? Rubber shouldn't hurt like this. So I am really wondering if it has anything to do with what the Gorosei were saying and doing, right? So yeah, Kaido is just taking lick after lick after lick, and at first he's like, I told you to stop, it hurts. But we find out he's still drunk, which, by the way, before I continue, I just want to say something about his drunk form. I do not want this fight to end with Kaido being drunk. Now, I know that everyone and their mom is going to argue the fact that Kaido early on said that being drunk makes him no weaker, but I hate shit like that. I hate any ambiguity. To this day, I'm still a little bit upset. I'm cool with it because I thought it was a great fight, and story-wise, it makes sense. But to this day, I do not consider, Katakuri having lost that fight. Everyone and their mom is probably going to say, Luffy won, doesn't matter, pirate fights aren't fair, yada yada yada, blase blah. But literally, in my head, Katakuri won that fight. He just let Luffy have it. As a martial artist, I've done that before, where sometimes it's more than about the fight. It's why you're fighting, what your goal is during this fight, and is losing going to benefit this person or you, yada yada yada. And so that's how I felt with Katakuri. Now, with Kaido being drunk, I just feel it always puts an asterisk on that victory. And the thing that I simultaneously love but hate about One Piece is that there are so many fights where there's an asterisk, where if so-and-so had taken him seriously from the jump, if so had just killed him, if so-and-so hadn't done this, if so-and-so hadn't helped him, if so-and-so hadn't bought him time, if Kaido hadn't been jumped by 7 niggas before and then jumped by the supernova right after, and then this happened and then that happened and blah blah blah, and then yada yada yada. And so just him being drunk would just bother me, regardless of him saying, oh, I don't lose any strength, just because it's you're still inebriated, you're still acting a fool, you're still doing clownish things. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So, he goes into flirty drunk mode, and which I don't know is is Kaido a masochist? Is the masochist the ones that like pain on themselves, or is that a sadist? I'm gonna say masochist because I think it's masochist. And it kind of reminds me of like Pori Pori Prisoner from like One Punch Man. And he's like, stop hitting me. And I'm like, yo, is like Kaido getting off right now on Luffy's attacks? Because that's a little bit cringe. So like, I was like, that's insane. But then right after that, Kaido says, hey, you're not the only one that, can use future sight. And then I think goes into dragon form, which I thought was very curious. I was watching someone's live stream, and one of the people in the live stream was saying, apparently Kaido's dragon form is his, most durable form, his tankiest form. But like, apparently the way in which Kaido used it here, he used it as, his like quickest form, which I always thought it was kind of a detriment because of how big the dragon was. But I guess his ability to freely move in his like serpentine form, was better suited for this fight right here. So he is basically, I guess, assumed to be using observation haki while maneuvering and dodging Luffy's, Snake Man punches a little bit more easily. So that was definitely very intriguing. And then right after that, he goes into homicidal maniac mode, right? And this is where things get hot and heavy, and I'm super hyped. We see two great new moves from both Luffy and Kaido. Luffy's basically like, yo, I have to end it here. I'm getting weak. I'm tired. I have to put you down. If I don't put you down, your dreams bring misery to the people of Wano. They're suffering and dying and starving and stuff because of you. If I don't defeat you, they're gonna keep doing that. Kaido's just like, hey man, I don't know why you're putting all your like faith in these people. At the end of the day, you know what? You do you, boo-boo. You are free to associate and affiliate with whoever you want. Like, that is your right. But the samurai Wano, the people of Wano, they're all weak pacifists. They're cowards, or fools that would die for the sake of honor. And he has these lines on his eyes, and he's saying that. And something I've really noticed about Kaido this entire arc and stuff like that is he's just always just trying to like whittle down people's wills and self-esteem. And I think it's just kind of projection, like the way he talks about how no one will ever like be there for his daughter Yamato, and how like all things end betrayal and stuff like that. I think it's just all projection and deflection of things that have happened to him, or things that he fears are gonna happen. And I really can't wait till we finally get a flashback with Kaido, and like where all these insecurities and where like everything that, and like his desire for suicide, and like where all of this is coming from, because we're getting snippets and snippets of it in his dialogue, just bit by bit, especially now that he's drunk. He's he's a little bit more loose at the lips. And so like, yeah, I'm very curious where he's coming through with that. And then like the irony of the fact that winners don't need rationalizations, when Luffy tries to defend the fact that the samurais aren't weak, and Kaido's like, what makes them not weak? They can't do anything. What? Because they wear a strong face while getting their ass whipped, they're strong. And I'm like that hurt me, because like I kind of felt both Luffy and Kaido in that moment, because like they're not weak. Like a lot of them, like it takes a lot of like courage and strength. It's kind of like black people in slavery back in the day, like to like have gone through that, even though like they didn't like overcome and like annihilate everyone, or like like kind of what everyone loved Killmonger for, die rather than go into slavery and stuff like that. That doesn't make them weak. But at the same time, Kaido does have a point where it's like, they're not weak, then why am I still here? Why do they need you to dethrone me? Blah, 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 blah. So, this was really tough. Anyway, we get an amazing new attack. We get Supreme King Kong Gun from Luffy, which I guess can also be translated to Overgun, which this is the same kanji as Supreme King conquers haki, so that's really dope. And then we've been getting Thunder Bagwas from Kaido, but now we're getting a Roaring Thunder Bagua. So I guess roaring is his way of adding conquer haki to it. They both get hit with these attacks, and it is incredibly devastating. Honestly, it almost feels like, even though Luffy's Supreme King Kong Gun definitely took Kaido back, I think Kaido's attack was way more effective, Like it literally hit Luffy so hard it near knocked him out of Gear 4. Like he had to like scramble to like recompose himself because like he was almost knocked out of it, right? And then once again Luffy kind of goes on his spiel, his tangent about, hey, you know, I gotta let it all out now. Kaido is actually like, wow, you're actually more gassed than I thought, which I'm actually kind of nervous because like I thought this whole time, you know, Kaido, similar to Big Mom, was kind of just posturing, kind of pretending, you know, to be less damaged than he was. But honestly, I don't know, the way he's just been taking this fight, it really does seem like he's like kind of good. It's really hard to tell where his health bar is. It's like playing Kingdom Hearts and I don't have the scan skill. I've been hitting this motherfucker all day, but is he dying? I don't know. Until like I see that cut scene, I have no clue. And that's how it currently feels right now. And so, you know, Kaido's like, all right, let's do it. And then the absolute motherfucking worst thing happened. And this CP0 motherfucker shows up, uses Iron Body, stops Luffy's Supreme King Kong gun while he's about to punch. Luffy's like Luffy's pretty much mid swing, about to swing, and then like he's about to, he's like, what's going on? Looks over, sees the CP0 dude, and then like before he can even react to do anything, like Kaido's swinging down with his Kanabo, right? And like Kaido sees it, but like he's already full swing, he's already like going for it. He's doing the motion, he can't stop, and just cleanly point blanks. Oh, I completely forgot something else. But anyway, I'll get back to that. But just cleanly, point blank, Roaring Thunder Bagwas Luffy right. Oh my God, that has to hurt. Because before, at least Luffy was kind of prepped for the first one, and that already fucked him up. But for him to be not only like get hit, distracted, I'm sure he had, you know, latent hockey kind of coding him because, you know, he was in Gear 4, but like I don't think he actually actively like had his defenses up and just ate it. And Luffy has been eating so many attacks. Something that I completely missed, and I just remembered now that I want to get to right before I continue, is like also prior to this, when Kaido went into his dragon form, he actually bit the ever-loving mess out of Luffy, tried to swallow and eat him. Then while Luffy, you know, was kind of working him from the inside, made him spit him out. But like I feel like that was Kaido's plan the entire time, because as soon as Kaido spits him out, opens his mouth, point blank, Boro breaths Luffy. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, yo, Luffy is just eating these attacks. It's absolutely disgusting. Anyway, back to where I was. I had to bring up that last part because that was too tough, too crazy a moment for us not to see. And that Boro breath wasn't like a casual Boro breath. Like, no, this was like, I took it personal Boro breath. Like, this jaunt travels the length of Onigashima. I think once again reaches, you know, the flower capital under them. Once again, like, I feel so bad for Yamato. First it was, you know, Law's awakening. Then it was Kid's railgun. Now it's like her dad's blast. Like, she's always like right on the cusp of getting hit by it. So like that is making me laugh. But yeah, man, I just feel so bad because like this is fucked up for Luffy. Like, Luffy is the kind of dude that he's like, there is no like fair, there is no cheating or blah 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 in a pirate fight. So like he's not the kind of complain, but this is fucked up. Kaido, I feel bad for Kaido because literally he has flashbacks to like when his last fight with another very, very worthy adversary got interrupted. Finally, he had a chance of possibly almost losing, and that was ripped away from him. And like there's a joke going around on Reddit right now, the last person to interrupt a fight of Kaido, that's how Bon Clay got his devil fruit. Which, by the way, can I just say, you know, I think everyone cut the transcript of what Oda actually said about 101 versus Kaido, right? So you know how the line is, in a 101 fight, always bet on Kaido. I think there's like a long lost, like torn out page. I think there's like a torn out page and it goes, in a 101 fight, always bet on Kaido, because that shit is fucking rigged. That shit is rigged. On a 101 fight, bet on Kaido because you can bet your bottom dollar some fucking bullshit poppycock shenanigans will occur and just screw over whoever is currently like beating Kaido. And anyway, can we just cue the like in the arms of an angel music for the CP0 agent, because that dude is gonna get sent blasting off again like Team Rocket after what he just did to Kaido. Like, I can just imagine Kaido just ever bog-walling the ever loving hell out of him. Honestly, I hope it's not just like, it would be cool if it was like one attack that just sends him flying onto like a Navy ship or something like that. But like, what I would actually love is for him to just do like a flurry of combos where he just like boggles him into the ground, turns into a dragon, grabs his arms, borrow breaths the mess. Like, it's a shonen. None of that's happening. But oh my god, that would be tough. But like, man, I would have really loved the panel where you just see the CP0 agent look up at Kaido and just see how angry Kaido is and just kind of go like, I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Like, that shit would be so tough. Honestly, I wonder if the CP0 agent has a way out of this. Like, I don't know if he knows how important it is to Kaido for his fights not to be interrupted, but from the fact that he survived that what looked like a lethal grievous wound from Drake, either he's resigned himself to his death, or, you know, he's not someone that's easy to kill. He has like a trick up his sleeve that we don't know about. Anyway, this has been a tremendous chapter, very action oriented, very action heavy, and I can't wait to see what the community has. Bro, by the way, this chapter leaked super early. I normally don't have the time to cover this when I want to, so I had a lot of time to read and reread and stuff like that, so that was awesome. I cannot wait to see Mr. Morge's review tomorrow. He has been adamant that the raid is going to fail, and this does nothing but like help service that narrative, so I am very, very hyped for that. I can't wait to see what the community does, how they feel. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think Kaido is going to wreck that CP0 agent? Do you think the CP0 agent is going to, like, you know, try to finish the job? Because he was told to kill Luffy, not to like knock him unconscious, not to like indispose of him, like, no, to like kill him. Do you think Kaido's going to protect him? By the way, I don't think Kaido is going to do that bullshit Katakuri did where he stabs himself to even it up. I don't think Kaido's that kind of dude. He's not with it like that. But I do think there are going to be significant ramifications. Do you think that the raid fails here and there? Do you think this is going to be a moment where, you know, while Kaido is occupied with the CP0 agent, someone will show up, grab, rescue Luffy, something or other, give him 10 minutes. Maybe he doesn't need 10 minutes anymore to recover. It's been a while since he, you know, has mastered Gear 4, so maybe he doesn't need that time. And then, you know, maybe he'll recover, come back, and he'll do Gear 5 or an Awakening. Because all we know is he's not doing Gear 4 anymore. He said specifically this is his last Gear 4. So we either have to be shown something new or simply Kaido's the winner. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Really hope you guys like that review and analysis. If you feel like I left anything out or missed anything, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought about this chapter. Let me know what you would rate it. Let me know what you think is going to happen next. Let me know if you think Luffy's Devil Fruit is the Gumu Gumu. Let me know what you think his Awakening will be. Let me know if you think he wins, period. So anyway, have a great time. This has been Otaku Talk. I'm your host, OD. Peace.